Welcome to RN Homesteading. I'm Nemesis, and Rianne, she's at work right now. So, what we get to do today, oh, check this out. We, I know, it's wild. We have a 1020 tray on here, yo. So this is cool stuff to me. I'm enjoying this. This means that you smell it. Smells like spring is around the corner, guys. So we are going to be looking at doing some planting. Oh, that's right. It is spring planting time. So what are we going to be doing is going to be our early crops or something that takes a little longer than what our season will give us, right? So for the first couple of things the first thing that I'm going to be planting that is I'm excited over, it's going to be some little gem lettuce with the teeniest tiny little itty bitty seeds. That it's from our seeds that from lettuce that we grew last year. Oh, so we are actively seed collecting. So we no longer spend any money on little gem lettuce. You buy it once, let it go with the seed, collect the seeds, and you'll never have to buy seeds for that particular variety again. Amazing, right? I know. It's awesome stuff. I'm enjoying it. We're going to be having some good lettuce, and then another thing that we're going to be planting in. I'm a big fan of it. This is going to be the first time I'm growing it. First time I'm going to see it being grown. Should be interesting, and that is some artichoke. So Tavor artichoke. It's from Sweet Yard Seed Company, organic, all that good stuff. We're gonna get some of these planted out. These take up some pretty good amount of room, I guess, once they're planted, like 18 inches apart from each other. So 18 inches apart gets eaten up pretty quickly when you have a bunch of plants being planted in. So we're going to do at least 10 of these to get this up and going. We're gonna have some artichoke here, and then the other thing that I'm going to be planting in is going to be some cabbage. So we have that cabbage going in now. We're going to do 2 rows of cabbage. We're going to do 2 rows of artichoke. We're going to do 3 rows of lettuce, but we're going to take our lettuce and we're going to split it up into 2 plantings. Pro tip for you guys: lettuce grows pretty quick. It's a cold weather crop, so it comes in quickly also, especially a little gem lettuce. We're not dealing with lettuce heads. This is going to be more of your romaine lettuce, so it'll be nice and tall. It makes like lettuce leaves, almost like spinach, like how spinach leaves are, kind of like that, but they're still tightly together like a lettuce would be. Just doesn't form a lettuce head. We haven't done lettuce heads yet. Possibly next year. We might possibly do that next year, but I do like the little gem. Little gem lettuce is great on for salads, for sandwiches. It's a universal salad mix there. So we're gonna go ahead, and the first thing we got to do here is get together the ingredients to fill up all the trays, because I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fill them all up. Even though 3 of the rows I'm not going to be planting in right off the bat, I'm still going to put dirt in there. We're still going to moisturize it because we don't want any empty tray holes in here. And then at the end of the week, I'm going to be planting the last 3 rows. So let's go ahead and make this nice and easy for ourselves and just fill it one time. So what do we have for ingredients here? I have some just topsoil, nothing special. You don't need anything special. You can go and get, seed starter mix. Well, it's cocoa coir, maybe peat moss. If you're lucky, maybe a little bit of topsoil in there. And then it's got some kind of fertilizer. I've got composted manure, and then some way to have some good drainage, so they're going to have some perlite into it. And what else do? They just put it through a little screen so that they're sizing it down to no more than 1/4 of an inch in diameter of any of your bits that go into here. Because with a seedling, we have more of a delicate root that's just beginning, right? So we don't want that delicate root to hit a rock and then have to try to wiggle its way around that. That can stunt the growth, or even as much as I've seen roots where they've hit something and it pushed the whole plant out of the dirt. So we want to make sure that we give the seedlings the best possible media to germinate in, whether you're doing coco coir or some other inert media. It doesn't matter how you're really starting them. It just more matters of, like if you're doing organic growing, that all your inputs are organic. That is, like, for me, the bigger thing is that I'm more into your all natural gardening, worm compost, teas, and all that stuff. So, composts, worm composts, it doesn't matter as long as it's all organic, no pesticides, because pesticides will kill everything. Because believe it or not, like lettuce, it's a broadleaf. It's a broadleaf plant. So if you got broadleaf and pesticides in there, it's going to not care what it's sprayed on it. It's going to kill it. So make sure that your inputs are as clean as possible. That much I do stress on. It's just your fertilizer. If you're making your own like I do, make sure your inputs are always as clean as humanly possible. So with that being said, let's go ahead and prepare some dirt. Now again, I want to make sure that I'm not putting big old chunkies in here. And that's why I have this little screen. It's like a rock sifter for your garden or whatever. It works for worm castings. It works for everything. This is my everything sifter. Oy. We go ahead and just, if it's like kind of clumping up a little bit, you can go ahead and unclump it. We're just trying to get the rocks out of it. This is a rock. Here's a big stick. We don't need that stuff in there in any way, shape, or form. And then bam, you see what I'm doing now. Super simple stuff. I mean, it's not rocket science. So what we'll do here is I'll cut to having where I basically have to do this. I'm going to do the same thing to this. I'm going to do the same thing to the manure, and then I'm also going to do the same thing to the perlite. I want everything to be small, and then we'll go ahead and show you what I've done. So with the magic of editing, and just like that, we are back. And as you see here, we got our dirt, we got our fertilizer, and we got our perlite, right? You notice that we don't have a whole lot of fertilizer here. You don't need, with the seed starting mix, you don't need to heavily fertilize. No more than 10% fertilization in a seed starting mix. Most of the energy is going to come from the seed sprouting. This is just there for whenever they get a little bit bigger and they need the extra nutrient, but a lot of it they can get from the topsoil itself. So don't think that you absolutely need to add this in. It's an option, but not required. Okay? This is more important to have good drainage, and the perlite helps promote the drainage. All right, with that now, all kind of separated there, I got to mix this up and then put it into my seed starting tray here. I'm not sure if I have enough to fill these ones. These are actually some of the deeper ones, which is fine by me. I do not mind using the deeper trays. It's just that I'm going to have to maybe mix up a little bit more dirt if I do not have enough to fill all the trays. So I may need to mix a little more, may not. We'll find out. If not, through the editing magic, there'll be enough. All right, just like that, I got a little extra dirt in here. And that already looks a little better. I don't mind having a lot of perlite. You can basically, you could grow in perlite. It'd act like hydroponics on you. But yeah, that looks good now. All right, let's go ahead and start filling some trays. Or the only tray I got here. Let's do this. All right, so now that we've got this taken care of, and we got a little itty bitty piece of wood chip that decided to make its way through. But for the most part, this is all that I really ever do. I have pretty good success. I've been able to grow in coco coir before, but at least with this, you know, it's topsoil. So when I put it from here to outside in the spring, it's not going to be too much of a shock to it. It's going to have enough root depth. Everything's going to be really nice for it. So the next thing you're going to need here for this part of the process is a way to be able to mark what you've done, so that you know what you've planted, where, especially if you are got a bunch of stuff going. This way you can, put date on there when it was planted, but I at least put the name on there when it, of what I'm planting, because I forget stuff. I'm not going to forget one tray, of course, but this is one of many trays that are going to get going here. So we're going to be naming marking that down for what we're planting. The other thing that you guys are going to need is a way to have some good clean water. If you're on well water, you can certainly use your well water. It is not a problem. If you have availability to filtered well water, that is a little bit better, because it starts filtering out the little extra calcium, especially if you got hard water like I do. Or if you're on city water, like a big major metropolitan city, you may want to let your water sit in a bucket for about 24 hours beforehand to kind of dechlorinate. You're not going to get all the antifungal and antibacterial stuff out of the water. It might not come out in 24 hours, but at least you're giving it your best shot. I have filtered well water, so that's what my weapon of choice will be for the watering. But just getting a good, clean source of water, that's a good thing. And then the other thing you're going to want, you can either get a clear plastic dome to go on top of this, or you're going, hey, I want to be a little bit more on a budget. I don't have this kind of money. I had a little bit of money for this and a little bit of money for a drip tray, but man, you can only get these in 10 packs, so I get it. You're 30, 40 bucks, you might not have it. I got you. So if you've got a clear press and seal or a cling wrap of some sort that's clear, just put a piece of clear plastic down on top of this. That's, you want it to be clear so that the light can get through it, and it'll evaporate a little bit of the humidity, the moisture at the surface level, and then it will kind of recirculate within inside of itself and keep everything damp. And then it'll help, you'll get the greenhouse effect, so it'll start warming everything up for you. All the good stuff you guys are wanting. So the first thing that I'm going to be planting out here will be my lettuce, my little gem lettuce. Now, the seeds themselves are super tiny, guys. You don't really need a big hole for this stuff. I mean, literally, I don't want to do this big of a hole, because that's like 8 times the size of the seed. Hold on a second. And I got a cat. being a pain in the butt. Thank you. So what I like to use is like a pen, especially with the small little seeds and stuff, and I'll use the back side of this pen and then just kind of make a small little divot. It doesn't even have to be that big of a divot. You're just making a little dimple. That one had a little air pocket in there that I just pushed down. I felt it as I moved it. I'm like, oh, that did not get compressed enough. Now, when it comes down to like compressing this, you're not looking at trying to shove this in with your your thumb and try to touch the bottom. I can take the dirt that's in here and compress it to about half the size that it is, but that's not good for the root system, a new fresh root. So we want to keep it in tight but not too tight. It's like it's that Goldilocks zone type of deal. That's where I say just kind of lightly tamp it. And if you guys don't understand the difference between just like tamping it and it's like literally if it's super like if a baby can push down on it, it's too loose type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like a newborn. A little itty bitty newborn. If a newborn could sit there and push it down, you probably need to add some dirt. So what I like to do with the seeds on here for the lettuce, you'll end up thinning, but I would rather plant too many than not enough, right? So I aim for anywhere from 2 to 3 seeds per hole. That's my thing. Or if it more wants to drop out of my fingers, because these are such tiny little seeds. Holy cow. They're so small. Alright, there we go. And we still got a bunch of seeds, and I could probably do the other 3 rows with this. But I want to break this up so that I've got 2 harvest cycles of lettuce. And then the marker that I'm actually using is a UV resistant, and it's like water resistant, so it's just got a little bit of weather resistance on there so that you can be watering this, the lights, nothing's going to make it fade, so that when it comes time to planting in a month and a half, you know what you're planting still. Again, this is only stuff you got to worry about if you got like a ton of this stuff and you're trying to keep everything organized. just like that. Super simple, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, now all we have to do is water this in. Now, like I said, I will water all of this in. Give it a good old soaking. And I'm just seeing if it dribbles out anything on the bottom, because then I know I've watered it plenty. Now, you're not trying to drown everything. You're just trying to get at that first initial wetting. And I'm just seeing if, like I said, if anything's dribbling out, that means I'm at that right water level. Having a drip or two come out the bottom, to me that's okay. It's whenever it's like the water's just running out the bottom, then you know you've over watered it. And you'll feel like in the weight of the tray too. I mean, pick it up when you first put the dirt in there and you're like, oh yeah, that's getting there. And I could put a little bit more. It's like I could feel the saturation getting there. And there's no, oh my God, you got to put this amount of water in there. It's just kind of by feel, by weight, and if anything kind of wants to dribble out of it. Like right now, oh yeah, this is perfect. Perfect saturation. Nothing's dripping out, but I can feel that it's heavy. It's hard to pick this up without it bowing, which means that I got a good amount of water in here right now as we speak. Nothing's dripping out. I like that. Now, from here you can put your cling wrap on here if you're doing cling wrap, or you just put this up on there. Now, what I like to do as a top off pro tip here, you want to add moisture. Add moisture right to the lid. Spray the lid down a little bit. It'll add an initial moisture hit right off the gate, and then bam. Kind of want to get that in just like that. All right, bam. And bam, just like that. And then you put this underneath the grow lamps, and then anywhere from now to a couple of weeks, they should all be sprouted. And then at the end of this week, or say next week, I will put in some more lettuce gem, and like basically like 5 or 6 days, I'll put some more lettuce in here so that I got 2 plantings of it, and yeah, and I will make a notation like this one. I won't make anything for it, but the next one I put in, I will put a little gem, and I'll put a number 2 on there to let me know that this was the second planting over here. This way I know how to plant everything. Make the front row my first pick, and then my second row my second pick on this stuff, and we will have a lot of lettuce, guys. So check that out. Be awesome stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys learned something. If you learned something, smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. May your thumbs always be green.